is Jennifer Plackey, and I met Burke and Barbara back in 2010. I was a student at North Carolina State University, and so I work for Raleigh Radiology, and since COVID hit, I have been furloughed since March. I got a phone call 2 weeks ago that asked if I would be willing to come back in for working at the front desk. That's not what I do, but that's all that they could offer me. Thursday, my boss came up to me and said, "Hey, I know we said that when you came back, we wouldn't have you work any Saturdays, but this coming Saturday, we're really going to need you to work for us because we have a technologist that's going to be doing imaging, and she hurt her knee." Now, this technologist, her name's Ella, and I met her about a year ago. And at that time, the Lord just kept burdening me to pray for her. And so yesterday, Friday, I felt like this was my time, and this was when I needed to say something to her, that I had lived out my testimony in front of her in the harvest long enough, and I hadn't seen her since March, and this was do or die, sink or swim, fish or cut bait. So I went to the bathroom, and in the restroom, I just said, "Lord, you know what? If you want me to talk to Ella today," because it was just me and her, "you're going to have to stop the patient flow," because we had a full schedule and there was no way I could have a fruitful conversation with her. I went back out and I said, "How did you hurt your knee? I want to know the story." And as she began to tell me, it just kind of opened up a door naturally for me to talk about, man, that's so crazy. And look at the events in our world that are going on right now. And then she began to ask my opinion about COVID, and that kind of opened up some more doors. So God kept opening doors and I kept moving forward. As I'm sitting there, I say, I just really have a peace in my heart because Jesus is in my life now, but it wasn't always that way. And I just shared my testimony. I told her how I was abused as a child, and specifically how I was raped by my father. And then my mom remarried into a really bad situation. At this point, she pauses and is like, "Are you kidding me? I've worked with you for over a year now. I never would have known that because of the joy that you have." I'm like, "Well, let me just finish my story." So I continued to tell her how suicidal thoughts were a part of my testimony, and I started moving along, and I shared how right now I'm able to declare all these things to you because somebody shared a really important picture with me. And as I started drawing those 3 circles, she was just glued to me. And it was kind of crazy because as I'm drawing, I'm thinking, "Lord, you're going to have to hold patient flow like I prayed to you in the bathroom. I'm going to need you to follow through." But I say all this to then say, I looked at Ella and I said, "Does all this make sense? And is this something that you want to do?" And I'm just going like this the whole time, just like I am now. And Ella says, "Yeah, I really want this." To which I'm like jumping out of my skin. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, she actually wants this." And so then she repeats a simple prayer after me, and then I open my eyes, and then she's just pouring tears. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh. And I couldn't find a Kleenex. And all the times that I can't find a Kleenex, I said, "I'm really sorry. I hope I didn't say something wrong." And she's like, "No, it's just so sweet. I've just never grown up like this before." I mean, I grew up Catholic, and my mom was just so cold and so dogmatic, and I had to do the rosary, and I had to follow these rules. And it's just something that even before she passed away, she pushed that onto my kids and my husband, and they're not going to understand this. And trying to wrap my mind around it right now, and you're just so different. And I was like, well, it's because Christ is in me, and now guess what? He's in you. And it was just so encouraging to get to see God work in her life when I hadn't even really planned it, but clearly the Lord had, because I shouldn't have been there today. Like, that wasn't even part of my contractual agreement for me coming back to work. And she usually doesn't even work at that office, which is why I felt like God said, if you don't do this now, you're going to lose your opportunity. I just ask that you would pray for Ella, that she would find community. I've invited her to kind of continue studying the Bible, but she's nervous because her family is going to be really harsh. So I just wanted to share this story with you because it was amazing to see God work. And right when we finished talking and we kind of wrapped things up, and I gave her the Bible and I gave her the paper, and she said yes, she wanted to take the 3 circles drawing and everything I wrote out, my screen started lighting up like the 4th of July, and patients were rolling in one after the other, and it didn't stop until after my shift was supposed to end today. So it was literally as if the Lord said, no one else is going to come right now because Jen's stepping out in faith. I love you guys, even though I've not met you, and hopefully this is encouraging. Bye.